The shatter of glass exploded through the empty gym like a gunshot in the dead of night, yanking me from my solitary deadlifts, heart slamming against my ribs as if it wanted out. I froze, barbell clanging to the mat, the only sound besides my ragged breath echoing off the mirrored walls of this forgotten Chicago warehouse turned fitness haven. "Who's there?" I yelled, voice cracking like that glass, but the shadows in the corner office just swallowed my words whole, until a low, guttural laugh slithered out, turning my blood to ice. I fumbled for my phone, thumbs slick with sweat, dialing 911 with one hand while grabbing the nearest kettlebell like it was Excalibur. "Break-in at Gold Standard Gym, Wicker Park. Hurry, someone's inside." The dispatcher's calm, "Stay on the line," felt like a cruel joke as footsteps, deliberate, heavy, crunched over the debris toward me. Not cops. Not yet. Just me, alone in the fluorescent hum, wondering if this was how my story ended. 28. Queer as hell in a city that chewed up dreams, taken out by some junkie high on the wrong kind of rush. But then headlights pierced the rain-slicked windows, tires screeching into the lot like a lifeline. The door burst open, not with sirens, but with a silhouette that filled the frame. Broad shoulders, rain-drenched jacket clinging to a frame built like it owned the night. "Jamie? That you?" His voice cut through the chaos, deep and steady, laced with that south side gravel that made my stomach flip despite the terror. Coach Alex Rivera. Not a cop. The gym's unofficial guardian angel. The man who'd spotted my form from across the room 100 times but never said more than "good lift, kid." Tonight, though, he wasn't leaving. He didn't hesitate, dropped his keys on the front desk with a metallic jangle and strode straight into the fray, eyes scanning the gloom like a hawk on the hunt. I stood there, kettlebell dangling uselessly in my grip, feeling exposed under the harsh gym lights that buzzed like angry hornets overhead. Rain pelted the broken window behind us, a jagged mouth in the brick wall letting in the metallic tang of Chicago's winter storm. "Get behind the desk," he barked, not a suggestion, his hand brushing my arm just long enough to send a jolt through me that had nothing to do with fear. I ducked low, peering over the formica edge as he advanced, his silhouette cutting shadows across the free weights. The laugh came again, from the office, muffled now like whoever it was had knocked over the filing cabinet in a panic. Alex moved like liquid steel, silent and sure, flipping on his phone's flashlight to sweep the beam across the clutter. "Chicago PD's en route," I whispered from my hiding spot, my voice barely carrying over the downpour. "ETA 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a lifetime in here," he muttered back, his profile sharp against the light. Strong jaw shadowed with stubble, dark hair slicked back from the rain. I'd always noticed him in passing, the way his coaching sessions drew crowds of wide-eyed newbies, his easy laugh during team huddles for the amateur boxing club we ran out of the back room. But up close like this, in crisis mode, he was something else, raw, magnetic, the kind of guy who made you believe in heroes even when the world's gone to shit. A crash. Louder this time, the office door slamming open. A figure bolted out, hooded sweatshirt flapping, clutching what looked like a laptop bag stuffed with God knows what from the admin files. The thief spotted Alex first, froze for a split second, then lunged for the side exit. Alex was faster, tackling him mid-stride in a blur of limbs and grunts that echoed like a pro wrestling takedown. They hit the mat rolling, the intruder swinging wild fists while Alex pinned him with knees to the chest, growling, "Easy, asshole, night's over." I scrambled up, adrenaline surging, and grabbed the zip ties from the lost and found drawer. Yeah, we kept him for the occasional rowdy drunk. "Here." I tossed them over, and Alex caught him one-handed, securing the guy's wrists with the efficiency of someone who'd done this dance before. The thief spat curses, face twisted under the hood. A scrawny kid, maybe 19, eyes wild with desperation more than malice. "Just needed cash, man. Rent's due. Ain't nobody hiring in this economy." Alex hauled him up, not rough, but firm, marching him toward the front where blue and red lights were finally flashing through the rain. "Save it for the cops, kid. Choices catch up." As the officers swarmed in, cuffing the intruder and snapping photos of the mess, Alex turned to me, wiping a smear of blood from his knuckles. His, not the thief's. "You okay, Jamie? Look like you saw a ghost." I nodded, but my hands were shaking, the kettlebell long forgotten on the floor. "Yeah, thanks to you. How'd you even get here so fast?" The gym was my late-night sanctuary, open 24/7 for insomniacs like me, but Alex lived across town in Pilsen, coaching by day and bartending nights to keep the lights on. He shrugged, that half-smile cracking the tension, revealing teeth white against his olive skin. Gym alert app pinged my phone. Owners got us all on it for emergencies. Figured I'd beat the badges here. Plus. He glanced at the shattered window, then back at me, eyes holding mine a beat too long. Couldn't let anything happen to my best lifter. Heat crept up my neck. Not from the fight. I'd been coming here for 2 years. Ever since moving to Chicago from that suffocating suburb in Ohio where being gay meant whispers and side eyes. Gold standard was my escape. Iron therapy, sweat as confession. Alex had noticed my progress, sure, complimented my bench once, spotted me on squats another time, but this felt like the start of something unspoken. The cops wrapped up quick. Statement from me about closing up alone after the evening rush. The thief's bag yielding nothing but old client logs and a desperate note about eviction. Kid's probably just another casualty of the grind. One officer muttered as they loaded him into the squad car. "Winter hits hard." Alex nodded, signing off on the report, his presence a steady anchor amid the chaos. By the time they peeled out, the rain had eased to a drizzle, streetlights haloing the puddles like faulty halos. The gym smelled of wet concrete and adrenaline. Mats scuffed from the scuffle. "We should board that window," Alex said, practical as ever, grabbing a sheet of plywood from the storage closet. I helped him nail it up, our shoulders brushing in the tight space, hammers swinging in unintended rhythm. Silence stretched, comfortable but charged, until he broke it. "You live nearby? No way you're driving home buzzed on endorphins like this." "I walk. It's only 6 blocks to my place in Ukrainian village." It was 10, but admitting I Ubered to save on gas felt too vulnerable after tonight. He snorted, slinging his jacket over one shoulder. "Bullshit. I'm driving you. Least I can do after crashing your workout." Before I could protest, he was steering me toward his beat-up Ford pickup, the cab still warm from the heater, smelling faintly of leather and his cologne. Something woodsy, like pine after rain. The drive was short, but the city blurred by in a haze of neon and sodium lamps. Wicker Park's hipster bars giving way to my quieter street of brick walk-ups and fire escapes draped in Christmas lights. We idled at the curb, engine ticking like a heartbeat. "Thanks again, coach," I said, hand on the door. "Oh, you won. Alex," he corrected, voice low, "and call it even. But hey, tomorrow first thing you and me spar in the ring. Work off that stress." His eyes met mine in the rear view, dark and searching, like he saw more than the guy who just nearly shit his shorts. I laughed, a real one, the first all night. "You're on." Slipping out into the chill, I watched his taillights fade, that laugh echoing in my chest. Little did I know, the real break-in had just begun. Not of glass, but of walls I'd built higher than any gym ceiling. The next morning dawned gray and grudging. Chicago's skyline smudged by low clouds as I trudged back to the gym, muscles aching from the adrenaline crash. The plywood patch looked like a scar on the facade, a reminder that safety was an illusion here. Inside, the crew had swept up the shards, but the air still hummed with last night's echo. I clocked in for my shift, front desk drone by trade, personal trainer by passion, and tried to focus on check-ins, ignoring the way my gaze drifted to the boxing area. Alex arrived at noon, fresh from a run, tank top clinging to his torso like a second skin, tattoos peeking from his sleeves. A rosary on one forearm, an eagle on the other, stories inked in black and gray. He caught my eye across the floor, nodding like we shared a secret. "Ready to eat, Matt?" he called, tossing me gloves from the rack. We squared off in the ring, the canvas springy underfoot, ropes creaking as we circled. He was good, too good, feinting left, jabbing right with the precision of someone who'd scrapped in real alleys before finding pads. I ducked a hook, countered with a straight that grazed his guard. "Not bad," he grunted, grinning through his mouthguard. But you're telegraphing, loosen those hips. Sweat flew as we traded blows, breaths sinking in the humid air, the slap of leather on leather drowning out the clank of weights beyond the ropes. It wasn't just sparring. It was conversation without words. His respect in every pull of a punch, my trust in dropping my guard. By round 3, we were laughing, collapsing against the turnbuckle, chests heaving. "You're a natural," he said, peeling off his gloves, fingers brushing mine as he handed them back. "Ever think about competing?" "Me? Nah. This is therapy, not a career." I wiped my face with a towel, avoiding his stare. Truth was, I'd boxed in college back when Ohio's fields felt like cages. But dreams died quick when family cut you off for loving the wrong way. He leaned closer, elbows on the ropes, voice dropping. "Therapy's fine, but life's too short for half measures, Jamie. Especially after last night." That intensity again, like he was peeling back layers I hadn't offered. We talked then, really talked, over protein shakes at the juice bar. He was 34, ex-Marine turned coach after a knee blew out in Afghanistan. Family in Pilsen. Mom who made the best tamales, a little sister in med school. No mention of anyone else. But the way he lingered on family made my chest tighten. Days blurred into a rhythm. Late nights lifting, mornings sparring, stolen coffees between shifts. Chicago thawed around us. Snow melting to slush on Division Street. Daffodils pushing through sidewalk cracks like stubborn hope. Alex became my constant. The guy who'd text form check with a selfie mid-squat, or show up with empanadas from his mom's kitchen after a brutal set. It was easy, electric, the kind of pull that made you question if fate was just bad luck in disguise. One Friday, post-closing, we lingered in the empty gym, fogged mirrors reflecting our silhouettes as we stretched on the mats. The city outside pulsed with weekend fever, horns blaring, laughter spilling from bars. But in here, it was just us, the hum of the AC our soundtrack. "Dance with me," he said suddenly. No music, just that crooked smile, extending a hand. I took it, heart thudding, and we swayed. Awkward at first, then fluid, his palm warm on my waist, breath mingling in the space between. No words, just the press of bodies saying what tongues couldn't. When our lips met, it was inevitable. Soft, searching, tasting of salt and possibility. Chicago's skyline twinkled beyond the windows like it approved. But as we pulled apart, his eyes shadowed. "Jamie, this us. He trailed off, thumb tracing my jaw. I waited, breath held, for the but I knew was coming. It always did. "It's complicated," he finished, the words landing like a jab I didn't see coming. We were still tangled on the mats, the gym's clock ticking past midnight, but the spell shattered. Complicated. Code for everything I dreaded. The ex, the closet, the life he hadn't unpacked yet. I pulled back, forcing a laugh to mask the sting. "Story of my life, Alex. Spill." He sat up, running a hand through his hair, the tattoos flexing like living things. Outside, a L train rumbled by, shaking the windows. A reminder that the world's always interrupting. "Not here," he said finally. "My place? Tomorrow. Brunch. Mom's recipe." I nodded, curiosity warring with caution, and we parted with a kiss that promised more than it delivered. Quick, on the cheek, like we were kids testing boundaries. Sleep evaded me that night, tossing in my studio apartment where posters of old boxing greats curled at the edges and the fridge hummed loneliness. What was complicated about a kiss in an empty gym? In Chicago, where rainbows flew proud on pride floats and Boys Town bars overflowed every weekend. Why the hesitation? His truck idled outside at noon, engine purring like an apology. We drove south through the city's veins, past Wicker Park's artisanal coffee shops and muraled alleys, into Pilsen where Takarius scented the air with cumin and lime, lowriders cruising on chrome rims. His building was a converted factory loft. Exposed brick, high ceilings, the kind of place that screamed, "I made it without trying too hard." "Home sweet chaos," he quipped, unlocking the door to reveal a space alive with color. Saints' candles flickering on shelves, Boxing gloves hung like trophies. A worn couch piled with blankets. Brunch was arepas stuffed with shredded beef and avocado. Steam rising as we ate cross-legged on the floor. Sunlight slanting through blinds striped with dust motes. Conversation flowed easy at first. His deployment stories, light on the grit. My escape from Ohio, heavy on the heartaches. But when plates cleared, he poured coffee strong as regret. The complicated part, he started, staring into his mug like it held answers. I'm seeing someone. Sort of. The room tilted. Sort of. Sort of. I echoed, voice steady by miracle. Not a wife, thank God. No ring tan on his finger, but a ghost nonetheless. Her name's Lena. We've been off and on for years. She's safe. Understands the family thing, the culture. But it's not. He gestured between us, helpless. It's not this. This. The word hung, electric, validating the spark I'd felt since that rainy night. But validation didn't erase the ache. So what now? Friends who spar and steal kisses. Bitterness crept in, unbidden. I'd been the sort of before, college boyfriend with a side of denial, leaving me piecing together shards in dorm rooms that smelled of stale beer. Alex reached for my hand, calluses rough against my palm. I don't want that. I want to end it clean. Give me time. His eyes pleaded, brown depths swirling with storms I recognized. The war between heart and habit, desire and duty. We talked till dusk, unpacking layers. His Marine dad who died young, pushing him to be the man. My own coming out at 16, met with silence louder than screams. By evening, as the sun dipped behind factory smokestacks, we were back on that couch, lips meeting not with hesitation but hunger, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces long separated. It was a turning point that weekend. We dove in headfirst, the gym our alibi, Chicago our playground. Mornings. Runs along the lakefront, Lake Michigan's waves crashing like applause. Afternoons. Coaching sessions where his glances lingered, my form suddenly flawless under his watch. Nights. Hidden in plain sight, dinners at hole-in-the-wall spots in Logan Square, hands brushing under tables, laughs shared over craft IPAs that loosened tongues but not guards. He broke it off with Lena a week later, texting me from her stoop. Done. For real. Relief flooded me, sweet as summer, and we celebrated with a rooftop picnic in his building, skylines sprawling like a promise. Fireflies, early impossible, danced in the humid air as we lay on a blanket, heads together, tracing constellations. Orion's belt, he murmured, finger drawing lines on my skin. Hunter, like us. I turned, capturing his mouth, the city below fading to a hum. But cracks formed subtle like hairlines in glass. Whispers at the gym. Rivera's got that new energy. Must be the protein. His sister Maria cornered me one shift, eyes sharp as her stethoscope. He talks about you nonstop. Be gentle, he's been burned. Burned how? I didn't press, not yet, savoring the honeymoon haze. We were building something real. Shared playlists of Springsteen and Bad Bunny. Lazy Sundays fixing his truck in the alley, oil-streaked and grinning. Then came the fight. Not ours, the gym's. 2 weeks in, a corporate chain sniffed around Gold Standard, sniffing profits in our gritty charm. Owner Marty called a staff huddle. They're offering buyout, fancy ellipticals, smoothie bars. We take it or we fold. Murmurs rippled. This place was more than iron. It was sanctuary for misfits like us, queers finding strength in sweat, immigrants like Alex pounding out frustrations on heavy bags. I spoke up, voice steady. Sell out and we lose the soul. Fight for it. Alex backed me, his presence galvanizing the room, and we voted no, unanimous, fists raised like victors. But victory's bitter underbelly showed quick. Scouts lurking, equipment disappearing in audits, whispers of sabotage. One night, closing up, I found the breaker flipped. Lights out. A note taped to the mirror. Last chance. Paranoia crept in, shadows lengthening. Alex grew distant, phone buzzing with calls he silenced. Lena stuff, he'd say, but his eyes dodged mine. I let it slide, chalking it up to stress, until the betrayal hit like a sucker punch. It was a Thursday, rain lashing the city again, mirroring that first night. I'd finished a late session, heading to his loft for our ritual movie night. Some dumb action flick, popcorn laced with tagine. His door was ajar, light spilling like an invitation. I pushed in, calling soft, "Babe?" Forgot the words died as I rounded the couch. Lena, not ghost, flesh, her laugh tinkling like broken bells, perched on his lap, his arms around her waist like old times. They sprang apart, her cheeks flushing, his face ashen. "Jamie, wait." But I was already backing out, rain soaking my hoodie, heart fracturing in the hallway's fluorescent glare. Sort of, I whispered to the closing door, the click echoing final. Complicated indeed. I ran then, blocks blurring, lungs burning, ending up at the gym, its plywood scar a mocking twin to my chest. I punched the bag till knuckles bled, tears mixing with sweat, the city indifferent outside. How could I miss the signs? The family lunches, the dodged questions. Betrayal wasn't the act. It was the lie I'd let myself believe. Dawn broke leaden, me curled on the mat, phone silent. Then footsteps, heavy, familiar. Alex, disheveled, eyes red-rimmed. She showed up, uninvited. I told her to leave Jamie. Swear it. He dropped to his knees, reaching, but I flinched. Why her? After everything. Guilt carved lines on his face, deeper than any scar. Fear. Stupid, marine-bred fear of losing the easy path. But you're the path now. Please. We argued raw, voices echoing off mirrors, truths spilling like blood. He confessed. Pressure from his mom, whispers of settling down. Lena as the buffer against his own truths. "I love you," he choked out, first time spoken. Not sort of. All in. I wanted to believe God. I did, the man who'd tackled thieves and danced in silence. But trust is a fragile lift, one wrong spot and it crashes. "Prove it," I said finally, voice hoarse. "Walk away clean. No ghosts." He nodded, sealing it with a kiss, fierce, forgiving. We patched, tentative, the gym our witness. But storms brew slow in the Midwest, and this one was just gathering. Summer crashed into Chicago like a fever dream, humidity thick as unspoken doubts, turning the gym into a sweatbox where breaths came short and tempers flared. Alex and I navigated the new normal. Dates in plain sight now, hands linked on the L to Wrigleyville for Cubs games, cheers drowning our whispers. He introduced me to his mom, Rosa, over tamales that burned going down, literal and figurative, as her eyes appraised, then softened with a hug that smelled of cilantro and acceptance. "You make him smile, Mijo. That's enough." It was almost. We thrived in the glow. Weekend getaways to the Indiana dunes, sand between toes, waves lapping as we built bonfires and futures. "Someday," he'd say, tracing patterns in the embers, "a place by the lake. You, me, no chains." I'd lean into him, the horizon endless, believing in someday. But the gym's fight escalated, shadows lengthening. Marty called another meeting. The chain upped their offer, dangling management roles like carrots. Whispers divided us. Some staff tempted by stability, others loyal to the grit. Alex pulled me aside after, face grim. "We can't lose this place. It's us." The word bound tighter than any rope. We rallied. Petition drives door to door in Wicker Park. Social media blasts hashtagged Save Gold Standard. Even a charity sparring event drawing locals and queers from Boys Town waving pride flags. The night of the event, the ring pulsed with energy. Crowds 3 deep, bets called, bells dinging like heartbeats. Alex and I tag-teamed a demo bout, our synergy electric, ending in a mock pin where I tapped with a grin. The roar approval enough to fuel revolutions. Post-fight, high on victory and cheap beer, we slipped to the rooftop. Unauthorized, but who cared? City lights sprawling like spilled jewels. He pulled me close, slow dance to distant jazz from a street busker below. "This is it," he murmured, lips on my neck. "Our story. We made love under stars smog-filtered. bodies sinking like waves, the world reduced to touch and trust reborn. Yet doubt lingered, a splinter under skin. Lena's shadow, a like on his Insta, a hey text he showed me, deleted together. Water under the bridge, he'd insist. But bridges flood easy in this town. Then the sabotage peaked. One morning, I arrived to find the heavy bags slashed, sand spilling like guts, a spray-painted sold on the wall, fingers pointed inward. Who had keys? Motives? Suspicion poisoned the air. A trainer, Rico, cornered me. Rivera's been weird. Late calls, dodging shifts. You hear him? I brushed it off, loyalty blind, but seeds took root. Alex withdrew, training solo at dawn. Explanations thin. Just clearing my head. Nights, he'd hold me tighter, as if sensing the fracture. The climax brewed in autumn's chill, leaves skittering like warnings on Milwaukee Avenue. Marty dropped the bomb. They're forcing the sale. Legal pressure. Liens we didn't know. Despair settled, heavy as fog off the lake. We fought last ditch. A protest outside corporate HQ downtown. Signs waving Gym for the people. Chants echoing off glass towers. Alex led, megaphone in hand, voice booming passion that made my chest swell. But as cops kettled us gentle, Chicago style, permits be damned. A call came through on his phone, shrill over the din. He stepped away, face paling as he answered. I watched from the scrum. Rain starting again. Words lost to wind but tone clear. Urgent, evasive. Everything? He said once, glancing back, guilt flashing before he pocketed it. The march broke, soaked and spent, but that glance lingered, festering. Confrontation came home, his loft a battlefield of half-packed boxes. His idea? Prepping for the worst. I waited till dark, city hum mocking our silence. Who was it? I asked, casual as a jab. He froze mid-fold of a shirt. What? The call. At the protest. Voice steady but heart not. Lena. Lie in his hesitation. She's struggling. Old habits. I laughed. Bitter. Old habits die hard. Huh? Like us. Anger surged. Words tumbling. The dodges, the distance, the gym crumbling around us. Is this real, Alex? Or am I the rebound in your complicated life? He deflated, shoulders slumping like a fighter taking knees. It's the gym suits. Anonymous tip, they're using it to push the sale. I was trying to negotiate a loan to shield you. Shield. The word stung, patronizing, isolating. From what? Truth? We're partners, not damsels. Tears pricked, unbidden. Or is that too gay for your Marine code? His face crumpled, crossing the room in 2 strides, hands cupping my face. Never. God, Jamie, you're everything. Then the flood. Confession raw, unfiltered. The suits had approached him months back. Prius. Offering a coaching gig at the new chain, fat salary to consult. He'd refused, but Lena, bitter ex, had tipped them off about the internal drama, leveraging old access to files. She wanted payback. For choosing you. Betrayal doubled. A knife twist. Not his, but hers, poison from the past. Why not tell me? I whispered, foreheads touching. Fear, he admitted, voice breaking, of losing you to the mess. But I get it now. Secrets kill slower than punches. We held there, storm raging outside, mirrors to our turmoil. Forgiveness wasn't instant. It was work, like reps on the bench, slow, burning. But in that vulnerability, love deepened, roots digging past surface. The sale loomed, but we pivoted. Crowdfunding surged, locals pledging like family. Rosa hosted fundraisers in her kitchen, tamales for donations. Maria rallied med students for a gala. Climax hit boardroom style. Marty, us, suits in pressed khakis. Alex spoke, not with fists but fire. This gym's heart, queer kids finding strength, vets like me reclaiming it. You pave it over, you bury more than concrete. They blinked, humanized perhaps, and countered. Leaseback deal, gold standard intact as boutique wing. Victory, hard won, cheers echoing as we signed. But personal storm broke fiercer. Post-deal, Lena cornered Alex at a bar neutral ground. Closure her lie. I tailed, instinct screaming, waiting in shadows as she pleaded, tears crocodile. He's mine, she hissed, but he shut it down. Now it's him. She lashed words venom, then worse. A slap, public drawing stares. I burst in, pulling him out, fury boiling. Outside, under street lamps haloed by mist, she followed, screeching accusations. He's using you, hiding debts, the real reason he coached. Bookies after him from Marine days. Lies? Truth? Alex paled, confirming with silence. Betrayal's apex. Not her, but his omission. Gambling ghosts from desert stress, paid off but haunting. I thought it buried. He choked, rain mingling with tears. Didn't want to drag you under. I walked, blocks numb, gym calling like refuge. Alone on the mat, I wept. For us, for the boy who'd reported a break in only to find his heart burgled. Dawn crept in pale, the gym a tomb of echoes as I nursed bruises. Not physical, but soul deep. Phone buzzed relentless. Alex's texts, voicemails cracking with pleas. Talk to me, please. I powered off, curling into the office chair. The same where the thief had rummaged months back. Irony bitter. We'd fortified walls, but the real intruder was memory. Chicago woke indifferent. Trucks rumbling, vendors hawking coffee on corners, while I unraveled. Friends texted concern. Jim buddy Theo, heard the blow-up? Spill? I ghosted, pride a fragile shield. By noon, resolve cracked. I met him at our spot. The lakefront path where gulls wheeled and wind whipped secrets away. He waited on a bench, hollow-eyed, coffee steaming untouched. Jamie. One word, laced with loss. Sit, I said, voice foreign calm. We walked, pace matched but worlds apart. Words tumbling like fallen leaves. He laid it bare. Poker dens in Kandahar, bets to numb patrol's terror, debts snowballing stateside till Rosa bailed him out. Clean 5 years. But Lena knew, used it to claw back. Shame etched his face, deeper than tattoos. Why hide? I pressed, hurt raw. We built on truth, or so I thought. Fear of the label, fuck up. Not the hero you saw that first night. He stopped, facing me, wind tousling hair. But you deserve all of me, flaws and fights, if you'll have it. Choice loomed. Title. Walk away whole but hollow, or dive deeper. Risks be damned. Memories flooded. The tackle in the dark. Dances in silence. Bonfires burning bright. Love wasn't clean, it was gritty, like gym mats after a brawl. One condition, I said, throat tight. No more shields. We fight together, ghosts, suits, all. Relief broke him open. Arms crushing me close. Salt on lips as we kissed. Lake roaring approval. Reconciliation wasn't fireworks. It was embers. Slow reignite. We therapied it. Sessions in a Wicker Park walk-up. Unpacking war and wounds, his hand in mine anchor. Jim stabilized under the lease. Our event space now a beacon. LGBTQ plus nights drawing crowds. Heavy bags pounding out pain. Winter gripped gentle that year. First snow blanketing the city in hush. Holidays tested. My Ohio family, estranged but thawing via cards. His enveloping with posada parties, piñatas swinging wild. Rosa pulled me aside one eve, candlelight dancing. He was lost till you. Gracias. Tears pricked. Humanity in her grace, bridging worlds. But conflict simmered low. The bookie rumor, Lena's venom lingering like frost. One night, post-shift, a shadow loitered outside. Stocky guy in a peacoat, eyes hard. Rivera owes nothing? He grunted when I confronted. Alex paled later, confessing. Straggler, old associate, sniffing. We bolstered. Changed locks, told Marty, but paranoia nipped heels. Climax crested New Year's, Eve electric with promise. Boys Town bash, us in the throng, confetti swirling, bass thumping like hearts. Midnight kiss under disco ball, countdown blurring to 1. But as cheers peaked, a shove. Lena, drunk and deranged, crashing through with a bottle raised. "Thief!" she screamed. Not at me. At him, accusations flying. "Stole my life." Chaos erupted. Glass shattering, security swarming, her whale-cutting revelry. Alex shielded me, taking the bottle's graze on his arm, blood blooming red. Cops hauled her away, sobbing he promised. But the damage etched. Stares, whispers, our bubble burst public. Hospital wait was vigil. Stitches quick, but souls deeper. In the sterile room, fluorescent buzz mocking, he gripped my hand. Ends now. Charges, restraining. Whatever it takes. Vulnerability peaked. His marine mask cracked full. "Love you too much to let poison win." I nodded, kissing his bandage, resolve steel. We pressed charges, her trial swift, plea to harassment, community service in anger groups. Humanistic twist. She wrote later, letter trembling. "Hate was mirror to my breaks. Sorry doesn't fix, but it's start." Alex read it aloud one night, voice steady. "Forgiveness isn't for her. It's us, unburdened." Spring bloomed defiant, cherry blossoms dusting the gym like confetti. We coached a youth program, queer teens, misfits mirroring our younger selves, teaching not just hooks, but heart. Strength's in the stand-up, not the swing. Alex proposed mid-spar. Glove off. Ring simple silver. Marry the mess? Laughter first, then yes, tears salting sweat. But drama's not done. Life's not script. Summer heat wave hit, gym packed. When the call came, bookie's ghost, real, final demand, fabricated interest. Panic surged, but we faced it tandem. Lawyer from Maria's network, Rose's savings as bond. Courtroom climax. Alex testifying, voice unwavering, debts dissolved in judgment. Victory quiet, but ours chains snapped. Through it, emotion wove deep. Quiet nights on his balcony, skyline sentinel, sharing dreams unspoken before. "Kids?" he asked once, tentative. "Adopted, maybe, little fighters like us." I smiled, envisioning. Family forged, not born. Betrayal's echo faded, replaced by trust's quiet roar. We planned. Wedding small, Pilsen church with rainbow sashes, lakefront honeymoon. Chicago, crucible and cradle shaped us raw, resilient. Yet humanity's core. Not perfection, but persistence. One eve, post-closing, we lingered in the ring, gloves laced loose. "Remember the break-in?" I teased, circling playful. He grinned, fainting. "Best wrong turn ever. Tag, you're it, chase eternal, love the pursuit." Autumn returned, leaves a riot of gold and crimson carpeting the paths we jogged, breaths sinking in crisp air that carried hints of bonfires and change. The wedding loomed joyful, invites out to a mosaic of souls. Gym crew in bow ties, Rose's church ladies with recipes, even a card from Lena, neutral now, wishing light. We'd grown, not unscathed, but scarred beautiful, like old leather gloves worn to fit. Ceremony day dawned flawless, October sun gilding the altar where saints smiled down. I walked aisle solo, Ohio ghosts absent, but presence in my step, vows exchanged simple. In chaos and calm, I choose you. Rings slid on, cool then warm, sealing promises. Reception spilled to the gym, transformed. Fairy lights strung on pull-up bars, heavy bags as photo booths, laughter echoing where once fear had. Honeymoon was dunes again, cabin rented lakeside, waves our lullaby. We hiked trails tangled with sumac, talked futures over camp coffee. Expanding the youth program, maybe a book on sweat and soul. Queer resilience through iron. Nights, tangled in flannel. His whispers traced vulnerabilities. "You saved me, Jamie, from myself." Back home, life layered richer. Gym thrived, boutique status drawing press. Sun-Times feature on Chicago's queer stronghold. Us side by side, hands clasped casual. Conflicts arose domestic. His late coaching, my freelance training gigs clashing schedules. Arguments sharp but short, makeup swift in dawn light. Deeper drama stirred winter's end. Maria's diagnosis: breast cancer, early but fierce. Family rallied, Alex's strength pillar as we shuttled her to infusions. Rose's kitchen a war room of soups and stories. I held him through vigils, his tears hot on my shoulder. What if? But we fought, as always, fundraisers blending gym and med worlds. Her remission a quiet triumph come spring. Humanity shone there. Not heroes but humans leaning. We're the net, I told him one night, her hand in ours at discharge. Catches us all. Summer brought surprise. Positive test. Not illness, but adoption inquiry. A boy, 12, from the system. Foster bounce. Fists clenched like Alex's once. We met him wary in a park. Baseball mitts as icebreakers. Ever boxed? Alex asked, and eyes lit, spark to flame. Homecoming was chaos joyful. Room painted navy, gloves on walls, nights of stories till sleep claimed. Parenting cracked us open anew. Teen moods mirroring our old storms, school whispers testing his armor. One brawl, suspension looming, and Alex knelt. Anger's teacher, not boss. Use it. Echo of our ring talks passed down. Climax personal. Anniversary eve, gym empty, we sparred ceremonial, gloves soft, touches lingering. Mid-round, he dropped guard full. Broken that night, but you let me stay. Forever grateful. Kiss followed, Matt's memory. Years blurred. Boy, now man. Graduating, pride swelling as he coached his own. Gym evolved. Us graying at temples but grips firm. Betrayals? Faded footnotes. Lessons in grace. Ending not grand, but grounded. Porch swing in our lake cottage. Earned slow. Sunset painting water fire. His head on my shoulder, hand laced. Good run, he murmurs. Best? I reply, heart full. Chicago distant, but roots deep. Love's true break-in. Staying uninvited, irreplaceable. In the quiet, humanity whispers. We're all thieves, stealing moments from mess. But in choosing stay, we build homes unbreakable. And that's the win.